I cannot believe that I'm doing YouTube. Am I actually putting myself out on the internet? I told myself that 2025 was going to be a year where I stopped being afraid of putting myself out onto the internet, if I'm being honest. And this is the birth of that new era. So welcome to anybody who's here. My name is Gio, and I am the designer behind GIOGRAFIK. Today, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes as I design a holiday-themed postcard. This is a tradition that I have been doing for years. It was my way of sitting down at the end of the year, really thinking about all of those that I had connected with that year. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how you can grab this design as a downloadable PDF that you can actually print out yourself and send all the cheer and love to the world. So this is my workspace, and typically I like to have a large workspace where I'm not necessarily designing within the constraints of the final product. In this case, a vertical postcard that's 4 inches by 6 inches, which is the final product. I've already laid out my color palette, so I want to go within my own branding. So white, I have my white, black, and then my gray, which is my primary, and then my accent color is the yellow. Having done a bit of research on what I wanted to do for this video or how I wanted to approach it, I was looking at what a lot of other designers do online and their videos and their content, and a lot of it is how-tos, how to recreate this aesthetic, or how to make this texture, or how to, mimic an existing style. One thing that I wanted to showcase, which I really think is interesting, is the work that doesn't necessarily see the light of day. And a lot of times we have concepts and ideas and graphics don't necessarily get chosen and they don't move forward in the design process. I have this file where I save unused icons and graphics. And if you are an existing or past client of mine that has worked with me, some of these might look familiar. So what I wanted to do was basically take some of these existing graphics and utilize them to create a holiday themed postcard. So just going through, I'm looking at a lot of these beautiful shapes. You can see that there are so many different styles, so many different aesthetics that might not necessarily go together, but there's an opportunity there. So right away, I'm looking at this graphic. I just like that it's a star. This shape here, this is I think left over from a brand that I worked on. So we're gonna drop that in as well. I think this star could be something. I always do this. So this is one of the things that I love doing is I always go back. If there's something that I see that could be used for another project, I keep looking for something that could potentially inspire me. I like to think about, okay, who am I? What kind of person? What kind of message I want to do? It's something that's different every year. Every year I bounce around from illustration to collage to using photography or different types of design approaches or different styles. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here with the shapes that I'm looking at where we could potentially, like this here, okay, this was supposed to be a brain of some sort, but I just like the starburst. So this is gonna look a little all over the place, but I do like the approach. So over here on the black shade of the color palette, I have my fonts. So this is actually the messaging on my card that I've already sent out this year. So what I wanted to do was include the typefaces here so that I could pull them and they're already branded and colored and how I like to lock them up. So basically I want to take these elements and this one I pulled because it looks like a tree, and if I want to create a secondary layer here, and we're going to do background. So we're going to copy this gray. I love this new shade of gray that I've been using. It is really, really nice. It looks rich. It's nice. It's kind of moody, but has a bit of that traditional feeling in the sense of I'm not trying to be too tech forward. If we lock that layer, and then what I want to do is turn these into colors. Also, if you can hear my trackpad, I know people love a mouse, but I personally love the trackpad. So I'm going to just play around. Also, I I did not think about what I wanted to do for this. I was like overthinking it, being like, oh, it should be this or it should be that. Like, what's the final product going to be? And then I realized, I'm like, I don't really know. I'm just going to do it and then go for it. I want to round these out a little bit. Okay, that's cute. Also, if I'm recording myself, I need to be aware that I cannot be hunched over. I feel like this is gonna be a hot mess. Yeah. Also, I don't know about you, but if you're as other designers, like I want to know, like in the comments, what is your process like? A lot of times I don't really think about what I'm doing. I don't plan when it comes to something personal, something like this where, you know, it's not for a client. I'm doing it for me. It's something that I'm sending out to my, you know, friends and family and clients as like a thank you or Christmas or holiday, whatever. I don't necessarily overthink it. Like in the sense of pre-planning, I like to just do and then see what comes of it and not think about it too much, because that gets a little bit too much. I can't handle it. So I want to start with, even though I'm like starting to already go, I feel like these edges are a little sharp. If you look at the fonts that I've chosen as my brand, like this, it's a bit more organic shaped. I'm thinking these shapes, if we rock these out. So one of the things that I really like about, let's just do happy holidays. I normally like to do something really funny or some sort of like joke in what the copy is, but in this one, I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, we're going to copy that over. I can outline this so that way, this is not supposed to be a how-to video. I want this to be mostly talking about the process, and you know, I find that this is a really nice way for me to stay connected with people in my life. I'm not necessarily somebody that is always in contact with a lot of people. I really do like to just live my life, and I know that my true friends, the people that are really there for me, they're living their lives, I'm living mine. I don't need to talk to you every day. But the holiday card, sending it out every year, is really a nice way of allowing me to take that time at the end of the year to really think about the people that mean something to me, and to thank them for being a part of my life. You know, this is ridiculous, but I like this. Okay, I kind of like where this is going. I don't know. This is a whip, a work in progress. I mean, this is starting to look like something. I think one way of bringing in the stars, the background, is swapping out the lowercase I. Okay, all right, I can kind of see it. One thing I like to do is make sure that it at least is within the boundaries of that width, and then shrinking it a little bit so it's not like overpowering. Also, actually, now that I'm looking at this kind of looks like a melting candle. What if it was? Now I want to go back and look. Something that looks like a flame that I could use. See, this is also why I like keeping the old graphics, because it allows me to keep a lot of random stuff in my back pocket of things that I can use. I'm not seeing anything that I can potentially use as a flame, and even as I start to work this out in my head. I'm like, you know what? I think you're just doing too much. Let it be simple. I think a happy holidays here is a nice shape. I'm not like loving that anymore. This video is going to be jumpy. So once again, this is my first time doing this. If it's a little all over the place, I apologize. I will get better as I keep doing this, but I think if we rotate this, I like this idea of snow, even though the snow has just started here and I'm already over it. I'm not gonna lie. As much as like the holidays are cute, it's just not for me. Like I'm born in the summer. I love the summer. I want it to maintain and always be summer at all times. So, you know, I like the theme of the holidays, but it's really not for me. The more I keep doing this, I am starting to regret my choice. But we're on this ride together, so buckle up. I'm gonna change this because I need it to be not look what it did. All right, this already feels a little bit more fun and graphic. Anytime I'm doing something, I find that things can be so boring, and I just don't like when they're boring looking. So I kind of want it to be something that's unique to me. What if the snow was yellow? Oh, you know what? No, we're not going that direction. We're not doing that, okay? Okay, so I feel like something really simple we're doing here is happy holidays. Talking through what I'm doing is so not normal for me. I love to talk, but the talking through it and explaining as I go, I'm finding that to be a little difficult. So I keep seeing this and I'm like, I want to incorporate this, but I don't know. It's really simple, but I don't want to go crazy. I also don't want this video to be 8 hours long. So I think that if I duplicate the layout here, so this is typically how I like to work, is I will create a kind of workspace and then I will mock it up in the actual size. So here I want to lay out the background, and then I'll take the elements, because this is looking like a hot mess, but that's okay, and lay it out within the dimensions of the card. So I want to make sure that because we are starting to place it, and I'll just trim this off, then start to look more like a finished piece, which I prefer, because then I can actually start visualizing it once it's printed. So then laying it out in the final card, I think this looks good. I like to lay things out like balanced. So if you can see, you know, I want to line it up to the edge, which now that I'm looking at it, I want to create a bit more padding around the edge of the card. So I'm going to lift it up because I do like the fact that it's trunkless. And then I want to match the padding on this side as well. I don't like things looking too balanced, even though they are, like the way that I'll think through it is that it is balanced. But I think 5 is a nice number. We can add a little bit of a zhuzh with them in the background. And I like them to be a little bit scattered, but to fill up the space, but not be too, strong. I want them to kind of create a bit of whimsy in the background. So this is the final product. It is not what I thought I was going to do today when I started this out, having had no plans. If you do like this design, you can actually download it at geographic.com/shop. The link is in the description of this video. If you check it out on the website, you can actually see that there's past designs that I've done for previous years that are also included on there in the same format. So they're very easily downloadable. They're double-sided, and I also include them with crop marks and without crop marks. So whatever printer that you end up going to, you're easily able to print them either way. If you enjoyed watching this, hit the like button, subscribe, do all of the things. You can also connect to my social media, and I would love to hear from you. If you want to leave a comment or tag me when you print the designs, I want to see it. I love to see all of my design children out in the world doing their thing. And I want to wish you all a happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.